Welcome and good morning. This is the Lawrence County Oral History Project, and I'm Norm Taylor, one of your hosts for today's program. This is being taped actually before Christmas and before New Year's, but I want to have a chance just to tell everybody, I don't know when this is going to be run, but it's going to be run somewhere around the holidays, some holiday somewhere. So I'll just go ahead and give you a chance to say Merry Christmas to you, Happy New Year to you, and in case this is running later on, well, Happy Valentine's Day, Happy St. Patrick's Day. What am I missing, Lee? Happy Easter. Just in case that this is not run until in the springtime, I'll get all the celebrations covered today. And so anyway, well, merry everything to you and hope that everything's going okay. Lee, this is December, but you know, this has been a cold December. Have you noticed that?
Yes, it is.
I noticed that on my heating bill. It really shot up this last time, and it's been cold.
I'm sure you'll find that going to carry on for the next 3 months. That's just the way it works.
I guess so.
I guess, Norm.
That goes part of it with it, doesn't it? I mean, I guess it's going to be cold now for a while until springtime.
I'm afraid so.
Yeah. You like cold weather?
Pardon?
You like cold weather?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, you
Just
enjoy
love it. Just love it.
You got the fingers crossed there. Okay. World War II veterans never tell fibs. So good to have Lee Hutchison. He's my co-host today, and Lee's with me all the time, and good to have Lee back. And Lee worked a solo here recently and did an interview without me, and boy, that seems strange. Here you going solo, but did a good job. And Lee, good to have you back. How's things around Christmas time?
That's fine. Got relatives coming in, granddaughters.
So are you ready to move out?
Grandsons. We're covered.
Well, you know, my wife tells me that the only thing she wants for Christmas is just me. I mean, she just like to have me wrapped underneath the Christmas tree. Your wife tell you that too?
She makes good choices.
It's good to have Lee Hutchison with it. And Lee still, hopefully you're selling some of your books, and still Bombs Away is still on sale.
Oh,
right?
yes.
Yeah, we're going to move a lot of those books, hopefully. I haven't had even a chance to read it yet, but I will over Christmas break. Well, we have two other guests with us today, Frank and Shirley Owen. Glad to have you guys with us today. Now, I know Shirley from the Lawrence County Museum. I've seen her floating around. Well, not floating around. You don't float around, do you?
I wish.
Shirley, you kind of, but I see you there all the time, and Shirley. So, but nice to meet you, Frank.
Same.
Now, whenever I see you two lovebirds, and I already mentioned that is St. Valentine. Well, it's not St. Valentine's Day yet, but yet, you know, maybe we could use this one for Valentine's Day. But when I see you two lovebirds, I'm thinking now there has to be a real love story involved here. Now, how long you guys been married?
It'll be 66 years.
66 years. Now,
December 31st.
Okay, coming up here, December 31st,
Yeah.
It'll be 66 years. Frank, you can remember that, can't
Yeah.
you? Have you ever missed an anniversary yet?
Oh, yeah.
How many have you missed? Hopefully just one or two.
I don't know.
Well, you mean you actually forgot your anniversary, Frank?
Well, sort of anyway. A time or two. You know.
Did she remind you?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Sure. Did you ever did you ever forget a anniversary, Shirley?
Well, having it on the day before New Year's and just getting rid of all the company after Christmas, yes, it's easy to forget it.
I guess it probably would be.
Yeah.
66 years. Living with one man.
Yeah.
And you've been living with this woman for 66 years, Frank.
Yeah, right, correct.
Has it been just a wonderful experience for all 66 years?
Well, most of the time. Now, you know, if I said all the time, I'd be fibbing. You know that.
Okay. But even if it was 60 out of 66 years, Lee, I think that this is the only couple, this sets a record for the Lawrence County Oral History Project, because I don't think we've ever had anybody that's been on 66 years married.
No. And I thought that these two have had lots of experiences military-wise and et cetera.
Yeah.
And I thought this might make an interesting program today, the way that our
I
lives...
think so.
So in World War II, so many lives were interrupted, and so many families were broken up, and people traveled and went here and there, and these two did their share.
I think you're right. I think that's a good choice by picking these two. Well, tell me then, we're going to go back 66 years. Now, if we do our math, we go back 66 years, we're looking around 1942, 41, almost 42, yeah. 1941 that you guys, in fact then, that you guys just got married just right after December 7th, 1941, Pearl
No,
Harbor?
I'm sorry. We met each other in 41.
You met each other in 41.
Indirectly.
Yeah,
But we
okay.
were married in
Well,
42.
I graduated from
Okay,
Purdue in May the 4th of 42, and I never met her till about a month before I graduated.
Well, Frank, how did you meet her?
Double date,
It was a double date.
you know.
Car date?
No, we went to the music hall or something with a friend of mine, and she happened to sit next to me.
Oh,
And they struck up a conversation, and then I got a date with her a week or two later.
oh, so then you waited a week or two before you called her?
Oh, I don't remember, that's so far back.
So, but you must have been awestruck with her there though when you was talking to her. I mean, you were going to
Well,
ask
we
her
had
out
a
in
lot
week or
of
two,
similarities, I mean, a lot of interesting things together.
but you'd never met her before.
No,
Okay. So did you know he was going to
she
ask
was
you out?
she was a freshman when I was a senior.
Okay, and this is at Purdue.
Yeah.
Okay. So but you'd never met him before, Shirley? You
no,
didn't know who he was?
I was dating his friend. And we double dated that evening because Frank had a car.
Oh, Frank had a car. Do you remember what kind of car he had?
You bet.
What'd you have, Frank?
I had a 37 Chevy two-door with no heater.
Well, you can't remember that. A 37 Chevy two-door with no heater.
Yeah.
So if he had a car, that made him a big man on campus, didn't it, Shirley?
Well, I just had it the last year. And the guy told me when that car was made that heater, whoever had it ordered, I bought it here in town from a Ford dealer.
Okay.
And when when the car was made, it would have cost $15 to have a heater put in, but whoever ordered it didn't order a heater.
And, well, this was during the Depression time, so $15
Right.
kind of hard to come by.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. So you had a 37. So since he had a car and you were dating his best friend, but he didn't have a car, so that made
right.
him seem more attractive?
Well, I don't know.
So anyway, okay, so he asked you out, and then how long did you date before you finally got married?
Well, from April till we got married the following December 31st.
Okay, boy. So it moved pretty quick. Now you were graduating then from Purdue, and but she was only a freshman. So that means that did you quit college then when you two got married?
Yes, but I went to summer school, and they had full semesters year-round once the war started.
Okay.
So I had 4 semesters in when we got married. And I was going to go back to school after he went in the service.
Okay.
But that didn't happen.
Okay. Frank, what did you go to school for? What was your degree in?
Agriculture.
Agriculture. What were you planning on doing?
Whatever came along. In those times, you took whatever was available.
You know, with money being that tight in the Depression years, of you being able to even to go to school is a story in itself.
Yeah,
I mean, to have the money to go.
yeah, I was fortunate.
Were you raised on a farm, Frank?
No, but my folks owned. We never lived on the farm, but we had the farm.
And were you raised here in Bedford?
Yeah,
Okay. Whereabouts were you raised in Bedford?
down Hillcrest Circle.
Around Hillcrest Circle in that area. Now there were many houses down there around then, or was that just a wooded area? Or?
My folks, my grandfolks developed all that.
Oh, okay, good. So the Hillcrest Circle was developed by your folks?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Well, that's interesting. That's interesting. So that's what they did for a living then?
Yeah, well, but as I say, they owned quite a bit of farm ground, and that was their major industry, yes.
They had a men's shop on the square.
Yeah, at one time, my father was in the Toggery, I guess it was called. Yeah, part owner there.
Oh, okay.
But my grandfather moved down to Kentucky. Tobe Hurt grew up here, and you probably never heard of him, but he and his wife were cousin. He was first cousin of my grandfather, and they went down there, and he found that he was named warden of the prison, and he found out how to make creosote, and he got the patent on it. So he was a millionaire in no time because the creosote for telephone poles and railroad ties and everything.
Oh, he's the one that came up with that. That's interesting.
And then he had my grandfather come down there to manage his farm. There's a couple thousand acres just east of Louisville. And he was down there for several years, 10 years or something like that, before he moved back up here.
Okay.
His father and grandfather, when they developed Hillcrest, it was sort of a new concept because they had a golf course with it. And now we see villages built around golf courses.
There's a golf course behind there, but
Oh, I never knew
highway
that.
goes right through it.
There was a golf course around the Hillcrest Circle area?
Not around
Well,
it,
west
to
of
the
it.
west of it.
To the west of it, down there in the lower parts. Yeah, okay.
Watered underground. It had water underground, which was a new concept too.
Well, we had to have water down there to sell those lots, so they had fellas from the farm spade it all the way from the city limits down there and put in the city water and fire hydrant.
Okay. Well, you know, I learn something new every time I do this program.
Well, now, the
Lee.
Hillcrest Golf Course would be across the highway now?
Yes.
The new highway goes right through it.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah, it's west of the
That was the
circle.
Hillcrest 9-hole golf course.
Do you remember that, Lee? Do you remember the
No, I
golf
just
course
heard.
there?
I just heard about it.
No, yeah, Lee's young.
Too young,
he's
too young.
He's too young to remember that.
I'm a
Yeah.
couple of years too young.
The clubhouse is still there and it's still very attractive. It's where the Surveys family lived for
I think it-
years.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
all-
well,
And now
what's his name
a
lives there?
Thorn. Isn't it a Thorn
I believe
boy?
so. I believe you're right.
Has it?
Okay, so that was the clubhouse for the golf course there.
Yeah.
Has a big porch all across.
Okay. I bet you a lot of people that are watching this program, because I didn't know this. I didn't know that there was even a golf course that was there during that time. So how many homes was initially put in the Hillcrest Circle area there?
How many holes?
Homes.
Oh,
Not holes. I know how many holes. I know
I
how
thought
many
you was
holes.
talking about the golf
Yeah, I know we're talking about golf course. Okay, we're going to switch to golf course. How many homes was initially put around the Hillcrest Circle there?
I'm counted as about 8, I think.
Yeah,
Okay.
probably, yeah.
About 8 there. Okay.
But there's only 2 or 3 for a long time. 3 or 4 for a long time. It's all over.
So if you, was the oldest golf course there then too? Was it already there in town?
Bedford had the country club, and when it went broke, Fred Otis bought it, and then he gave it to the city. This was back late 20s, I guess,
Yeah,
like that.
right. Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So, so you were raised right there in Hillcrest Circle, or what is now Washington Avenue and area, right in there. So, did you happen to ever get up into the Wilson Park area during that time?
Oh, yeah. I mean, watch baseball games and stuff.
Well, that's where I was trying to get to, because we've done a program in the past on the Bedford ACs, and my grandfather was Red Taylor, which if you watched the Bedford ACs, you probably came in contact with my grandfather.
I remember, yeah.
Red.
I mean, I wasn't any part of it. I was just,
But you watched it. You
Yeah.
watched some of the games on the weekend and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, that's interesting.
yeah,
So you went to Bedford High School then.
right.
How many brothers and sisters did you have?
0.
So you were the only child.
Yeah.
Were you spoiled?
Pardon?
Were you spoiled?
I suppose you'd say that. Well,
We're
my father died when I was 11
Oh,
in 31.
Okay.
And, you know, there wasn't too much money around any place then.
Frank, you know, we talk a lot about when we get people that lived through the Great Depression, and in Lee's new book, he's got some stories on the Great Depression. But what do you remember about the Great Depression times being around in the Lawrence County area?
Oh, golly, I don't know.
Do you remember any kind of stamps, rationing, anything like that during the time? Do you remember that it was hard getting jobs? Do you remember that what people talked about, anything like that?
Oh, yeah, they always talked about not being able to find work and stuff, but they got handouts from churches and things like that, I guess.
Yeah. Now, if your father passed away, that was kind of at the beginning of the Depression. It was pretty hard then for your family.
No,
Yeah. So did your mother work then?
no,
No, she didn't
Women didn't work.
work. That's
There
right.
wasn't enough work for men.
not very many.
Right. So yeah, that was going to change in World War II.
Yeah.
I mean, start to change. But you're right. Back in that time, just women didn't work then.
Yeah.
Very few jobs, and the men then. Shirley, so where were you raised at?
I was raised at Libertyville, Illinois, out in the country.
Yeah. What
And
part of
that's
Illinois?
north of Chicago.
North Chicago. Okay.
And my parents took me around to several colleges when I graduated. I worked a year before I graduated. My father felt that all of us should work a year before we went to college.
Not before you graduated, before you went to college.
Yeah, before,
Yeah.
after I graduated from high school.
Okay.
And so when I went to Purdue, and we told how we met,
Yeah. And what were you going to Purdue for? What was going to be your major?
well, Frank would probably say a man. But at that time, you know, there were about 8,000 men and about 1,000 women at Purdue.
Well, boy,
The odds were
the
definitely
odds were
with you.
good. The odds were good then. Yeah.
But no, at that time, Purdue was about the same tuition as my state university at Champaign. And I just, you know, I'm like every other young kid. I wanted to get away.
So you were raised in a rural
And it was on the
community?
Monon. See, so it
The
was
Monon.
easy to get back and forth.
She meant Purdue was on the Monon, get back and forth to Chicago.
Okay, yeah. So you would ride the train to get back and forth and home. So about your growing up years, pretty pleasant, hard? What were your growing
Well,
up years like?
my father had inherited his farm in debt-free, so we were very lucky. And they never really talked about money. We had a railroad that went through the farm property, but I'd say it was at least a mile from the house, wouldn't you, Frank?
Yeah.
And when you'd get a surge of when the hobos would come to the door and ask for a handout, my dad always said, don't refuse them. And so after about a month or so of this, it got sort of tiresome, so he'd go over there and with a paint bucket and stuff and paint over the good grub sign on the telephone post along the railroad.
Okay.
The hobos always marked where there was a good place where people would feed you.
All
And
right.
as they traveled back and forth, they had all these secret signs and they knew where to go.
Yeah.
He'd go paint out the sign.
Okay.
So I was, you know, like every other person in the rural area. My sisters and brothers and I belonged to 4-H and did things in the church. And, you know, we had a very nice childhood.
So, you know, during the Depression era as well, what did you see as something that really sticks out in your mind?
Well, you know, children without decent shoes and clothes and things like that. You know, poverty was pretty much the style if you went in certain parts of the country or certain parts of Chicago and so forth. I can remember my father during the Depression, he was taking a load of cattle or something down to the stockyards, and you had to go through the poor area, and a boy ran out between cars. He was about 5 years old, and my father hit him, and he died instantly. And nobody would claim this child. He told the policeman on the beat, he said, this child has to belong to somebody. And the policeman said, well, they can't afford a funeral. So my father said, well, let the word be out that a funeral will be paid for if somebody would claim this child. And, you know, that's pretty heartbreaking.
Did somebody then claim the child,
Yes.
Shirley? And then your father paid for the funeral?
Yes. But if he hadn't, they wouldn't have claimed this child.
You know, that's something that...
Drastic, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is, to think about that they didn't have the money to pay for it, so they wouldn't even claim their own child.
No. And we had a big orchard and with over 100 trees with apples and pears and things. So we'd let the orphanages come out and bring the children, and they'd pick barrels full to take back for the winter.
And that was
things
big
like
time
that.
for them, wasn't it? I mean, that
Yeah,
was something special for them to do. Yeah. So you always had enough to eat.
Oh,
It
yes.
sounds like there then.
Yes.
So you were fortunate that you had enough to eat. Going back a little bit, because people, they were transient at this time. They were traveling. Everybody was looking for jobs and stuff. So hobos, were there any hobo camps anywhere near where you were at?
No, we didn't have a river around, but usually it would be under a bridge. I can't recall any real close to us.
Lee, do you ever remember any hobo camps around here?
Yes, there used to be hobo camps. Well, so many railroads are closed now, but back in here on Milwaukee behind this deserted track, they always said there was a hobo jungle down in there, and not to go down. My mother always said, don't go down into that woods. And they had to have places to stop and camp and cook their whatever they could bag and steal. And
So were they run out usually? Would the sheriff end up running them out from that area?
the sheriff. Occasionally somebody would steal too many chickens or something, and somebody would get
So
them.
they'd have to run them out.
But they kept moving, and most of these hobos weren't dishonest people. They were just men looking for jobs.
Yeah.
And they were just traveling across the country to find something.
Right.
And send back to their families.
Yeah.
Probably one of the saddest things about the Depression was men left home, because then the mother or his wife could go to the welfare and get help. If there was a man in the house, then you didn't qualify always for welfare.
Yeah.
So fathers, while they didn't want to or maybe mean to be like that, that was a way out for some families.
That's a good point you're making, of how this era, Depression time, the war, it really did break up families in that incident, because the fathers did have to go off in one way or another when they went off to World War II, or like what you're talking about, for just survival, had to break away. That would have been very difficult for families.
Well, that was what brought about the CCCs, Civilian Conservation Corps, and the WPA.
Yeah.
And so the government actually created jobs. And so when you read the paper today about what are we going to do about this economic situation, we're going to have to create jobs again.
Yeah, I know there's talk about that now here in 2008.
Yes.
A similar type of program, in fact, like the WPA or CCC. Right. Yeah, that's a good point.
Then in 1939, when we knew war was probably, a sure thing,
Yeah, war was imminent.
then the young men had a place to go because the Army was looking for recruits. That was the first turnaround.
Yeah. Okay, so 1939. Frank, so you graduated from Bedford High School. What year did you graduate from Bedford High
38.
School? In 38? Okay. So, and did you work around town then for a few years before you went into the military?
No.
We went to college.
Went to college. Okay, that's right.
Yeah, I worked up there during that summer. I enlisted in August. They didn't call me till January. I enlisted for the Air Force. They had so many people waiting to get in. Took that long. And I worked up at Lafayette National Home during that time.
Okay. So right after you graduated college, you enlisted in the service.
Yeah, a month or two,
Yeah.
something like that, yeah.
And you enlisted in Air Force? Okay. And my understanding is that you ended up being a mechanic.
Right,
Okay. Where did you go to basic training at?
San Antonio,
San Antonio.
yeah. And then I went for primary flying at Muskogee, Oklahoma. And that's where I ground out. I was up 14 times and I was fine as long as the power was on. But he'd get up there and then he'd cut the power off and we'd go around like that. And I got airsick every time, and sicker than a dog every time. I was not in control.
So
And
Frank,
I
you were in
said, I'm ready to get out of here. Give me a shovel or something.
Yeah. You did not get up that plane.
You were in the Air Cadet program.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He went to Texas.
Went into the Air Cadet program because he wanted to fly. But
Okay.
then what happened was the washout business, like you say,
Yeah.
because you're airsick.
Yeah.
He took his CDT, is
Huh?
that what you called it? Training at Texas A&M.
Oh, I was
And
there
that was the
about a
first
month.
place I went with him.
Oh,
Sure,
you,
about
and you
one.
followed him.
Yes, and it was a men's college.
Ah.
It was hard to find a room that would take a woman, I guess you'd say.
I'm very familiar with Texas A&M. I had a daughter and son-in-law there for a long time, and it is still like Purdue. It's mainly men, although it is now co-ed.
I think it had one women's restroom on campus.
One on the whole campus?
Well, it seemed like it to me as I was looking.
What did your parents think about you getting married and taking off?
Oh, they weren't very happy. Well, they pointed out all the disadvantages. And of course, you know, I was 20 years old. That wasn't going to happen to me.
But you were determined to follow Frank.
No, I didn't. I was going back to college.
Ah.
And he called, and he was so homesick and so forth. I felt sorry for him, and I was anxious to see him too. So once he got to Texas A&M, I took my first long train ride.
Ah.
That's a book in itself, riding the trains for 4 years.
Well, Shirley, let me ask you, for ladies that, when they knew, did you know that he was going to go off and join the service?
Oh, yes.
So
Yes.
why?
Well, you didn't go off and join the service. You were going to join the service voluntarily or be drafted.
Okay.
It wasn't a matter-
Okay, I'm corrected on that. Hey, Frank.
Right.
All right, Shirley, then if you knew he was going to go into the service and he was going somewhere, why wouldn't you have waited until after he was out of the service? Why did ladies, women then, why did they want to get married before their men went off to the service?
I don't know. I guess I was in love.
Oh, you were in love, okay.
Yes. And of course, you know, when there's a war going on, you don't know, that thought is always in the back of your mind, just as it was in Lee's when he was up in that airplane, that your loved one might not come back.
Right. So, but you wanted to marry him, though, before he went off, though, because,
Yes.
okay.
Didn't want any children, though.
Well, okay, yeah.
I felt sorry for the
The
mothers.
people that had children and
Yes,
tried to follow.
and they did follow
They
a lot
did.
of times. I don't know what they lived on. I think I got $50 a month, didn't I?
Well, to start with, I think it was 25.
You only
the
got
government.
21. You only got
Sometime I
21.
went-
You
fifth
got
argument.
21 and I got 50.
Something like that.
So that's something we haven't brought out in this program, Lee, but for married couples, what kind of money did they receive? About $70, somewhere around there? For?
You got to tell me because I wasn't married.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, I
Frank
think
will
it
tell you.
came
She'll
to
tell
about
you.
$79 or something for the two of us.
Oh, okay.
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's big money.
Well, for some couples, they stretched it that far.
Right.
But now I was always fortunate that I usually found, I wasn't trained for much, even though I went to Purdue.
Oh, we won't talk about it.
And
Cut that part out.
I'm a Purdue fan, so I mean, that's all.
Yeah,
we won't get into
I'm
that
outnumbered
now.
here.
Okay.
Okay, so I usually got a job. I never had to wait until, well, I shouldn't
Well,
say
you
it
can get a
that
job
way.
any place in those days.
Yes, the wives, if they didn't have children to look after, usually got a pretty good job on the base or in town. And I got a job when we were in Lincoln, Nebraska. I got a job with the OPA. It was upstairs from the USO, and I've got a good word to put in for USO.
Okay.
Isn't that what you call them?
Oh, yes.
And so when I had that background, I could go any place and get a job with the OPA. And the OPA was the
Official Price Administration,
yeah,
something like that.
office of, well, that set the prices, and you got ration stamps for shoes, sugar, butter,
Gasoline.
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 Yeah, that's right. That was
Okay.
a big item.
And so that all that was purchased on the base.
No, this was for
Stamps worked any
civilians.
place.
Okay,
The military usually had first chance at anything,
okay,
and then the rest was rationed out among civilians.
okay. Shirley, with a lot of people, a lot of the married wives, though, usually just stayed home. How come you
Yes.
started following him around? You miss him?
Well, I didn't have a job, so yes, we missed each other.
Okay.
And I only went just to visit him. But then I was barely got there, and they transferred him to San Antonio. So another wife and I that I met in what we would call the Union Building on campus up at IU in Purdue, we women hung out in that Union Building. Her husband got transferred. So we went by bus from College Station, Texas to San Antonio. And there were people on there with chickens in cages and everything else.
On the buses?
That was the only way to travel, really, because a lot of people couldn't get gasoline for their cars. A lot of people then didn't own cars either.
So they bring their dogs, cats, chickens,
It was an experience.
goats, cows? This is more like Noah's
Mostly.
Ark here.
But that would be just to go to the next town, see,
Oh, yeah, okay,
to shop or sell their chickens.
yeah.
And housing, how did you find housing?
Usually the USO helped you.
They had a list. of
The USO
people.
had a list to help.
Yes, the USO was just as wonderful to the soldiers' families as they were to the soldiers.
And how in ways, now when I think of USO, the first thing comes to my mind is going to be the shows. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's when I think of USO. But how other ways did the USO help military families during World War II?
Well, like I say, to find housing. And you know, parents would come to see their sons graduate from OCS and things, and they'd find rooms for them, and they always had refreshments on hand. Most of them were
you
open
always go to
24 hours
USO
a day.
when you got a pass and went to town, because you could surely find something good to eat and cake and cookies and stuff.
That was a great way to unstress, wasn't it?
Right.
And they had dances. A lot of
Yeah.
men met their future wives in the USO.
Yeah.
And volunteers, the people who lived in the town would all volunteer to help these strangers. It was a time that the United States came together more than ever before, probably.
Yeah.
Everybody helped everybody else. So the USO was always sponsored by volunteers.
Yeah, on blood banks. They
And blood
always,
banks.
everybody went to the blood bank.
The USO, would have been a real friendly face for homesick soldiers, wouldn't it? Had been someone, a kind face and a kind word, and someone to kind of help relieve that little bit of homesickness.
And they usually had a branch in the depots. So when you got off the train, if you didn't know where you were going or something, they would direct you to either the big USO. I think those USOs were open 24 hours.
I think so.
Well, Lee, there would have been I'm getting an idea that there was a lot of men but few women, obviously, so it was just nice for these young men to be able to be around a young lady during that time.
Oh,
wasn't
yes.
it? I can say, when you had the dances, that must have been a really special time.
Well, when all these soldiers came to town, or sailors or Marines, they needed someplace to go, and so the town, the USO would organize these big dances and affairs, and so you had a social meeting place
You're right.
and a place to stay out of trouble.
You're right, yeah. And officers and non-commissioned could be at the USO at this,
Yes.
okay. Did they separate that any?
No, but it was mainly enlisted men.
Yes, because the officers had
Officers
the
Club.
Officers Club.
Officers Club.
And
So, okay.
the girls would go out to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shirley, you touched on something that I caught that is kind of a little bit interesting to me about riding on the rails during this time. And you, for 4 years, you rode on rails, so there had to be a couple of good stories in there somewhere on when you were on the trains. What kind of sticks out in your mind? Is there something special that riding those trains that you learned?
Well, the schedules were practically non-existent because civilians would be lucky to get on a train for civilians, because the troop trains, as we called them, that carried the soldiers, had preference. So you a lot of times sat in the depot.
And sat on the siding.
Yeah, or sat in the depot for 24 hours waiting for this train to leave. You couldn't tell anybody when you were going to get there, because a lot of times you would sit on the siding, maybe overnight, because they were making a troop shipments during the night.
Okay.
See, people today don't realize the railroad, how important the railroad was and how many railroads we had, and they used everything they could possibly use. Troop trains, I've ridden in troop train cars that
Cattle cars.
Don't shoot the buffalo out this window, and that type. They were ancient, and they would stop in the middle of nowhere, like she says, and you'd sit for a while.
I remember when I came home on furlough one time on the B&O, we caught it at St. Louis to Mitchell, and it was closed. It was supposed to be an air conditioning, but the air conditioning wouldn't work, and crowded people sitting on their luggage in the aisles, and hot. Man, it was hot when it was midsummer. And when it got off the train, it was hot in Metro, but it felt like getting in a refrigerator. It was so much cooler.
And people had to take their own food a lot of times.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember the family in front of us. It was a mother with 2 little children. I don't know where she was going. And she made garlic bologna sandwiches.
Oh, boy, you can smell that over the place
great
then.
in the non-air conditioned train.
Uh-huh. Yeah, you can smell that. I guess you met some characters on the train occasionally, wouldn't you? Some people that were...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Well, there was always somebody to talk to.
Yeah. So were the trains usually pretty full?
Oh,
Yeah.
people sat in their suitcases in the aisles.
You mentioned that. So this was pretty frequent.
Well, yes.
Yes, you did.
We weren't prepared for war as far as transportation went, were we?
Yeah, it was just common. We just had to use it. The government just had to use everything they had first. The troop trains went first, priority, and the civilians went second.
Well, Lee, I never thought I would ever say this, but having grown up around Bedford and having to sit and wait on trains for a good part of my life, you know what I'm talking about, downtown, when it'd be just, if you had a heart attack trying to get to the hospital on that one side, you remember how it was set up? Well, you were in bad shape if you were on the wrong side of the tracks. You guys know what I'm talking about. But you know what? Having irritated me about all that all these years, but actually I kind of miss trains now.
There's not many go through
No.
Bedford. The only time they go to Bedford's when they have to go to Crane.
Right.
I understand they would have the tracks all torn up, but Crane wouldn't let them. They have to have a way in and out
Right.
with all the stuff.
And I often wonder, Frank, if it's not a mistake that we've torn up all the train tracks now, because if they ever need the trains again, it's going to be hard and expensive to ever get that land back now. So.
Yeah, but the new trains they're building would take a different track, I think.
Yeah.
Or a better track, anyway.
Yeah. I kind of miss the trains. Now, when I see a train come through, it's kind of a more special thing.
I
to me
was
now.
told at one time there used to be 15 passenger trains went through Bedford every day.
15.
They were smaller trains before they got the big engines. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Frank asked me to come down from Purdue to meet his mother, and I came on the Monon. And my first impression of Bedford, and I don't mean to be sarcastic or anything, was the man in the little house holding up the sign, stop for the cars.
Stop the
I've never
traffic?
seen that.
Well, I'll be.
You
Yeah,
remember
had-
that?
The crossing, you had to have a man there with a sign. There were no automatic signals.
Yeah. Okay.
And they were,
Where did you stop when you came in the train? Where was the depot at then?
Oh, it was...
Right north of 14th Street, on the depot actually was on the east
where the
side of the track.
recycling
yeah, it's recycling now.
is
There's
now.
a building there now.
Is this the one by Moelis Petroleum? Or is the one that they're trying to...
I think
No.
so.
Is that the one you came
No,
in? There's
not
two,
that
there's
one.
two
Mullis.
depots, I think.
It's south of Mullis.
Okay, south. I know the one you're talking about now.
That was,
Okay.
where the recycling was the Monon. The one that they're redoing is the Milwaukee.
Milwaukee, okay. Thank you for that. That's a beautiful building, by the way.
Yeah.
It is a beautiful building. I hope they can get the funds to to do the rest of that. That's beautiful. So Frank, you were in San Antonio. Where else did you go?
Where else did I go? Oh my, we covered the country.
Oh,
Well,
well, you went to Amarillo. Then,
Yeah, and I
or
went
did you
to-
go to Muskogee first and then Amarillo?
Muskogee,
And
then
then
Amarillo,
For
then
mechanic
Lincoln,
school.
Nebraska, then
Niagara
Niagara
Falls in the dead of winter.
Oh, my.
and then where did it go?
Fresno.
Yeah, Fresno. I was out of Fresno when they invaded Europe. 6th of June.
I stayed up all
And then
night.
I went to Moses Lake, Washington, in an empire up there, and then down to Muroc Air Base, which is the big Edwards Air Base now, where they can land the satellite thing, you know. And spent the rest of the time there.
Why were you moved so much?
Pardon?
Why were you moved so often?
Well, the one was at Washington. They closed it for the winter time on account of fog being so bad, and was going from one training school to the next and so forth most of the time.
Yeah.
In Fresno, he was slated to go overseas, and he'd always had hay fever. And Fresno is the city of roses in California, and the roses were blooming. They were just gorgeous, but he got, I guess you'd say, rose fever.
I
So
had when
bad.
I was a kid, I carried 2 or 3 handkerchiefs all the time during hay fever season. It just drove me nuts.
Yeah.
And I spent a year and a half in the desert and never had it since.
Okay.
So they took him off the shipping list, sent him to Muroc.
So you were pretty close to going overseas.
I was alerted to go when they dropped the big one, and so I didn't have to go then.
Yeah. Were you dreading the thought of going overseas?
Oh yeah, sure. I was not looking forward to it.
Were a lot of people that you knew, were they going over at that
Yeah.
time? Yeah.
I had 7 of my classmates die at Pearl Harbor.
Oh, is that right?
They graduated in 40, and they all decided to join together.
Yeah.
In fact, they were on the same destroyer. I can't remember the name, though.
And you lost 7 classmates there, right there at one time then. We got a picture here, Lee.
See if you can get that young couple on here.
Okay, let's see if we can do that here. Let me see where we're at on the camera. Are we over at you, Mr. Baker, or I'll just hold it up right here then. Let's hopefully that we'll receive it right here. And boy, this is a good-looking couple. My goodness. Well, no wonder, Frank, no wonder all these women were after you.
No resemblance to the present.
Man, Shirley, boy, I tell you, no wonder he asked you out just right after then.
Now, you didn't have a big wedding in wartime.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Okay. Well, tell us about this photo and everything here, Shirley.
Well, down at the bottom is a little country church that my ancestors started at a town near Libertyville. It's called Diamond Lake. And we were married there, and my folks were all so married on New Year's Eve day. Not in that church, though.
Yeah.
And the top photo was taken at the Bismarck Hotel in Chicago, and I'll let Frank tell you about that.
Okay, Frank, what's the story behind that?
Well, when we got married, I didn't have enough gas stamps, so I came up on the train to Chicago and out to her folks. And then the best man from Bedford, Bob Armstrong, came up, and we rode to Chicago with him that night, and we stayed in the Bismarck, which is across from the Sherman. And Bismarck's still there and all, and something I was going to say, can't think of it
How
now.
much it cost?
Huh?
How much it cost?
Oh yeah, spent 4 nights there and it cost $44. And I said I'd never spend that much money again in a hotel.
Yeah, boy.
Eat your words, you better
Yeah,
make
you
them sweet.
better watch what you say. Yeah, never say never. Yeah, $44.
For 4 nights.
Oh.
Hotels probably the same. They probably re-wallpapered and put air conditioning in. The rest all the same.
Well, that was expensive though.
Yeah.
Boy, yeah. Okay.
None of you have heard of Sonia Henney.
Oh,
You
yes.
might
Yeah,
have.
Sonia Henney's an ice skater.
And my mother and dad bought 4 tickets and told us they were coming into Chicago, and they took us to see Sonia Henney ice skating.
Oh, so that was big time.
Yes.
So the war ended, and you were a mechanic all those years here in the States. And that's kind of interesting how you were grounded, though. You didn't like that swirling around, did you?
No.
Did you ever do that swirling around?
Oh, a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, did it ever make you sick?
I never did get that far into pilot training.
Okay.
I became a gunner very fast.
Right. Yeah, I could see where that would make you sick, though. So the war ended. Where did you go then after the war? Where are you headed back to?
Where'd we go? I've forgotten.
Well, we stayed with my folks. He had a job and
Yeah.
with Swift and Company, wasn't
Did
it?
they like him better at this time?
Did they like? Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
He was always my
Yeah, okay.
dad's favorite
Okay.
in-law.
I went back and forth from Libertyville, which is 50 miles, and had switched trains a couple of times, and I hated that. Well, I was working for Libby's, so I said, put me out to where one of the canning factories are. And they did. They moved me up to Walworth, Wisconsin, which is just over the line in Wisconsin. Really liked that real well.
And what was the name of that place?
Walworth. It's near Lake
Walworth.
Geneva.
It's on the main
Okay.
route from Chicago to Madison.
Okay.
And then they moved me out to Sac City, Iowa, which is in the northwest corner of Iowa, where they had a plant. And let's see, where'd we go from there?
Well, they transferred us to Bluffton, and that's when you got acquainted with Funks through. No, you went to Farm Bureau from there.
Yeah, I went with Indiana Farm Bureau organization, worked for 8 years, 8 years, and then came upon this job with Funk Brothers Seed Company, covering southern and southwestern Indiana. And so I took it, and was very fortunate to get it and enjoyed it, and
Yeah.
so forth.
And so you came back to Lawrence County
Yeah,
during that time then? And you were glad to get back to Lawrence County?
yeah, sure.
And you followed him into Lawrence County. That's how you ended up in Lawrence County.
Well, his mother lived here, and he had a chance at several localities, but we felt that our children had never been close in distance to their grandparents. So we settled here, and she lived for about 5 years after we moved here.
Okay.
Now, you got to mention your children while we're on this. How many children do you have now?
We
Same
still
as
have
we-
3.
You still have
Same.
three?
Same
Okay.
as we started with,
All right.
about.
But mention them.
Go ahead.
So you raised your
He
kids.
won't admit to
Is
owning
Howard,
them.
is Howard the oldest one?
Yes, Howard's the oldest.
Howard was born in Wisconsin, Mark was born in Crawfordsville, and Fran was born here.
Uh-huh. Okay. Now we got that in.
Yeah,
All right.
Howard lives in Austin, Texas. He has 5 children. 2 of them are married. So we have 3 great-grandchildren and expecting another one in April. Mark lives in Columbus, Ohio, and has 2 daughters, and one, well, it'll soon be 2 years ago that she married a German boy, and he's here in the country and having a hard time finding a job because, you know, no one's going to hire a foreigner when we have U.S. citizens out of work. So they may end up in Germany.
I see.
Boy, don't forget
And
to
then
mention
Lisa.
Molly and Mag.
Well, just a minute. And Lisa, the other daughter,
Yeah.
works for an energy company in Columbus, Ohio. And then Fran Bond,
Yeah, I know Fran.
everybody knows Fran,
Yeah.
teaches at Olytic, and Larry has his own business called Larry's Home Improvement.
Yeah.
Best son-in-law and mother-in-law could ever have.
Boy, make sure you get, Fran, make sure you listen to this part. That's right.
And she has 2 daughters. They're 10.5 years apart, Lolly and Maggie.
Were you folks glad that then to be Lawrence County residents, has it worked out pretty well for you?
Sure.
Oh, yeah, I feel like I probably grew up here.
Yeah.
It's been so long. I enjoy the museum and the different things I volunteered for, our church, and it's home.
Well, it's nice people like you guys that has made Lawrence County the great county it is. And we
Thank you.
appreciate, talking with you. Lee, you had a stroke of genius like you often do whenever you brought these two on, because it has been interesting to hear their story about World War II's being here in the States and traveling around, and it's a little bit different perspective.
Yes,
And,
I think it is.
So, and that was really interesting. Sure.
But we didn't go the full circle like some of the veterans did. They went to college after they got home, with never dreaming of being able to go to college, right?
Yeah,
And
the
you
GI
ought to
Bill.
do a segment with a couple that lived in the Quonset huts.
It's a GI Bill rule.
Oh, I got to tell you an
The
episode.
Quonset huts? Did you say the Quonset huts?
Uh-huh.
Well, okay, well, that'd be
The
another.
married couples that went to college had very poor housing.
And they called them the Quonset huts, okay.
And
Called them, they were.
actually-
They were.
They were barracks and Quonset huts and whatever the colleges could put up.
Okay.
But
And-
I was up there at that Moses Lake Air Base, and there's a town of 150 people with board sidewalks. She got a job in OPA in a Quonset hut. And one time I came home from the base, and there's the prettiest cherry pie you ever saw in your life. So I had to taste it. It was the funniest tasting cherry pie, awfulest I ever tasted, and out it went. So I took another bite of it, same thing. Couldn't wait for her to get home, see what happened. Well, in those days you bought your sugar and salt and came in little white bags, and she'd use salt instead of sugar to make the pie. And if they'd have judged that pie on appearance, she'd have won the contest. 'Cause the salt made cherries real bright red. No, but boy, what a taste.
Did you check her cooking credentials before you ever married her, Frank?
Oh, no.
No, okay.
Never had that opportunity.
But I bet she'd made some good cherry pies since.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Okay. Lee, thank you for bringing these two fine folks on. We've been interviewing today Frank and Shirley Owen, and it's been hearing their World War II exploits around. It's been fascinating hearing both of your stories today. I've learned some things as well. Lee, it's always good having you on the program. I want to wish you a great holiday season. And,
Thank you very much. The same to you.
And we're finishing up 2008, and it's been a good year for the Lawrence County Oral History Project, and you've been a big part of that. And folks, again, we want to wish you all Merry Christmas, Happy New Year's, and again, we've enjoyed having you in this year of 2008, and we're looking forward to 2009, and hope you'll stick with us. This has been the Lawrence County Oral History Project. I'm your co-host today, Norm Taylor. Thank you for watching.